It's Sneaky here, and I just recorded this long part 2 video, and we're back. Today we're going to go over PeerTool. I'm going to make a separate video for this so I can kind of get into the steps a little bit from scratch with a new project so people can understand what exactly is going on here. So this beginning part is just me making a new project. It'll be pretty quick. I'm using a dependency that I created, base logic MP. It's on the workshop if you want to check it out. It just adds all the dependencies and managers you need to make a co-op mission so you don't have to sit there and drag them all in. All right, so I have custom folders here. I have an add-ons folder. That's a custom folder I made. This is where I put my in-game add-ons I want to show up in Armor Reforger. I have a workshop folder. This is like my working directory. This is where I put my random, tutorial videos as I make them. Anything that I'm working on in the workbench is in this separate folder I made too. So you can see on my hard drive, just two straight up folders. And yes, it's like, wow, okay, great, we get it, folders. But you'll understand once we start doing the parameters and stuff for this PeerTool. All right, so I'm going to make this project, and this is PeerTool tutorial. Why is my T not? There we go. And we got it in the workshop, and we're going to hit OK. Let this load up. And we're in. So base logic MP, worlds, base logic world. And through the magic of time, we have skipped past the long loading and we are in. You can see all my managers are in here. I'm going to create a new sub scene on top of this. All right. All right, we're in a sub scene. We're going to go to the airport. And, if you're like, wow, he's going through the editor so fast. If you're brand new, I have two videos on my channel, part 1, part 2 of creating a workshop mission. Check them out. It'll walk you through step by step. It's beautiful. You'll love it. All right, this is mainly for people who have workshop scenarios and they're like, well, how do I use PeerTool? How do I test, co-op stuff to see if it's actually even working, if I can spawn in, etc. So we're going to come over here. On the right-hand side, we have our layer. And I just need to add some very basic elements here so that we can test. So I'm going to put a US spawn point in here. That's for my spawn. And I'll put, well, we don't really need to put anything else, honestly. So I'm going to go ahead and hit, we're going to save this. But first, I want to create a subfolder here, worlds, just for organizational purposes. So when I hit save as, in PeerTool tutorial, I have my worlds folder. World. Okay. So right here, we've got our project, right? And what we want to do is, let's say we've got our US spawn point right here, this blue thing. And, we're going to have multiple people spawning here, but we need to check that multiple spawns work and that maybe our hit reg and our, radio or chat or whatever, we want to make sure this stuff functions. So you can use the PeerTool, or maybe you wrote a custom script. So the PeerTool comes in handy. What it does is it creates an instance of a client, and you have your editor character that you can spawn and run around with, and then you'll have a separate window come up, and that will have the other player who connected, like the client instance. All right, so what we want to do is come up to plugins, settings, PeerTool, executable. It says game.exe. What you need to do is go into your Steam library, Steam apps, common, Armor Reforger, take your Armor Reforger Steam and copy it, and then go back to common, go into Armor Reforger tools and workbench. You paste it in here and then just name it as game. So you can see right here, this is the game.exe. This is what launches, and that's what this is calling right here. All right. And now we want to add, peer windows. These are the clients that we want. So I'm just going to have one client, and I have the peer config. Everything we can just leave as default unless you want to change something. At the bottom, we have parameters. So what these parameters are for is getting to the directory and add-on that you want. So I'll pull up my folder structure here. Can I move this over? I can. Nice. So I can get this all on the screen for you guys to help you understand what's going on here. So I have on my hard drive, I have a folder called Reforger Workshop. And this project we just created is here, PeerTool Tutorial. So you can see the path up top, H Reforger Workshop. And that's right here, H Reforger Workshop. So you do -addonsDir, in quotations, the directory, the path, -addons, and then you want to do the add-on name. So this one is called PeerTool Tutorial, and you'd hit OK. So just to show this again, we've got the H Reforger Workshop, and we're saying, hey, in this PeerTool tutorial, this is where the add-on stuff is. And that's for that client that we're instancing. It's so that client knows where to go. All right, so what we want to do now is, so far this is the only way I figured out how to do this, but you have to restart the entire workbench for it to save. So it looks like the PeerTool, from what I know so far, just from like playing with it, is that it takes, anytime you make changes in the editor and you want to use the PeerTool, you have to restart, and it lets it kind of refresh, reload. So it is kind of like an unfortunate side effect because of, the load times of like coming into the editor, loading in the world. But, gotta do what we gotta do here. So we'll come up to PeerTool Tutorial, go to our world and load that in. All right, and magically we're back. And now we come up to the play button. We click the drop down, click server localhost plus PeerTool, and then we hit play. Now what's going to happen is we're going to come into the editor here as a player, and then you're also going to see a window pop up, and that's going to be our client, and that's going to load in and it's going to come into our spawn point as well. So I'm just going to shut up here for a minute while all this loads. So you can see here, client 1 is in, and then on the right, it says I joined the fight. And I want to look at myself. What's up? What's up, bro? You talking that smack? All right, so you can see, we've got the 2 clients here, and then I can click into this one, and the same thing. And you can see on the right-hand side in the editor that, you see the bullets hitting the ground. You probably can't hear it because I have the audio set up differently on here. I'll try and include the game audio, but the way you can tell, like for example, with the projectile sound manager, I can come all the way back here, and you'll hear the gunshot, and then you'll hear a crack, and the crack is the bullet whizzing by the editor player. And that's really all there is to it. Now we know our spawn works. This would function in co-op or multiplayer. We could have AI in here as a mission and, run around and kill them, etc., etc., etc. There we go. So that's it. If you have any questions, you can ask. But this is meant to be a standalone, pretty quick, basic tutorial for anyone looking to use the PeerTool. If you have problems, majority of the time, it's because you forgot to restart your workbench. But sometimes it could be because you have a spawn or something not configured correctly. One last thing I will show you, the PeerTool creates a little profile, Peer plugin. It's in your documents, my games, and you'll see Peer plugin. So if there was an issue, I could come into here and check like the console or error, script error. Like console includes everything, and then you have error, and then you have script related stuff. So you can check the console if there is an error, and maybe you need to make adjustments to your mission, something along that nature. If you see some kind of RPL error, majority of the time, it's because you forgot to restart your editor after making changes. Anyway, quick and dirty tutorial. Hopefully it serves its purpose and is useful to you guys. Have a great day.